Okay, welcome everyone. I'm sharing my screen now, and we'll start to talk about analyzing SERPs on Google SERPs. Okay, so basically we have a function called SERP Google in advertools, and I'll show you exactly now how it works. It requires you need to have a custom search engine on Google. We have to create that. That's free and easy. And you have to have a developer key. I'll send you the documentation links, and so you can see how that goes. So let me show you how the function works, the most simple way, and then we'll take it from there. So you start with custom search engine ID and the key equals key, and you give it a query. Okay, so I'm going to say, what is Bitcoin? So we'll save this to a variable. What is BTC? And key. Sorry for that. Okay, so now we have a data frame showing me the top 10 results for this query. What is Bitcoin? What is Bitcoin? What is Bitcoin? Rank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Title, snippet. This is the display link. This is the actual link. And then from here on, it's mostly metadata. So query time, when this is very important for reference, because you might have ranked for Bitcoin 10, 12 years ago, but now good luck with that. But it's good, I mean, because you want to do this maybe once a week, once a month, and compare how things have moved. Total results is also interesting to show you how competitive that keyword is. These are the same results, but formatted for HTML. If you want to build an application with that, you see here bold. And there's a lot of other interesting stuff. So you have the meta tags of the landing pages, viewport, Twitter card, so many other things. The more you go here to the right, the more empty these columns become. Okay, and we have a simple SERP heatmap function that summarizes the result for us. Now, both of these in this stage are not really useful. You're telling me that Bitcoin is number one. This chart is like a bit silly, but this, I'm just showing you the first thing and how it goes. Now, this function is mainly interesting when you do it in bulk. Okay, so I'm going to create another query, and I'm going to say, and I give it a list, what is Bitcoin and what is Ethereum? Okay, now what this is going to do is it's going to run two queries, one for each query, two requests, one for each query to the search API. So now we have a variable called BTC ETH. We have what is Bitcoin, and now we have another one, what is Ethereum? Okay, so now we have 20 rows in the data set. So if we summarize this, now it becomes a bit more interesting. Okay, so Investopedia appeared twice in rank number 2, position number 2. Ethereum ranked once here and once here. That's interesting because ethereum.org is ranking for Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin? CoinDesk once here, Coinbase here, and so on. Okay, and you get a few statistics on these: average position, coverage, and total appearances. Now, what's even more interesting is doing this across other dimensions, if you want to call it. So let me do this just to make it clearer for you. So we'll have the same two keywords, but we're going to run each one in a different country. So we'll take two English-speaking countries, UK and US. So now we have two queries in two countries, which means 2 times 2, we're going to run 4 requests to the API. What did I do wrong? Missed a comma. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So now we have a much larger data frame, as you can see. And now we can summarize that, and it's becoming more interesting. Okay, now, and this is what we want. We want things in both. So in general, Investopedia is stubbornly on position 2 in the US, in the UK, for Bitcoin and for Ethereum. Ethereum.org is also in the top, and so on. Okay, now when we say bulk, usually what you want to do is you want to analyze the industry as a whole. So who's ranking for cryptocurrencies? So what I'm going to show you here is something that I did, but on a much larger scale. So I got a list of the top coins in what's it called? Coin market cap, I think. And now with these coins, you can make variations. Okay. So you can say, what is coin or coin in coins? Okay, what is Bitcoin? What is Litecoin? What is etc.? You can call these what is queries, and we can do price queries. So price of coin or coin in coins. Is that correct? Price Bitcoin, price Litecoin, and we can combine these together and have a long list of queries. Okay, I've done this already. So we have this large data frame of cryptocurrency SERPs, Bitcoin, internet computer, and here you see another column for geolocation, the countries. Now, just so you know what's out there, what's available with this function, you have so many different things that you can restrict or expand your queries with. So date restrict, you can say last 4 days, 10 weeks, 3 months. Human language, image color type, dominant color, number, start, like all these things. You can read the documentation. And obviously every query can be modified with the search operators, in file, in URL, whatever, anything that you can do with that is obviously available. There's also another search engine that I'm sure you know about, which works the same way, which is YouTube. So you can do the same. It works in the same way. Okay. So now, so this data frame is 1,440 rows and 666 columns. It gets a bit big. So just to see what columns I have, these are 100% full, and then cache ID, for example, meta tags is 99.6% full. That's great. Thumbnail, and then it starts going down. That's just so you know what's going on. Okay, so now the SERP heat map looks a bit more interesting. Okay, so we see here. Let me just review quickly what these numbers are. So at the average position, I think that's clear. On the average where you rank, the total appearances is 124, and if you divide that by the number of queries we made, you get the coverage percentage. So if you have more than 100%, this means that CoinMarketCap appeared most of the times more than once on the same SERP. So the dominance is very clear here. Coinbase has a coverage of 126%, and so on. Okay, and more importantly, I think you can see where these are distributed. So CoinMarketCap, yes, if I just told you the average position is 3, it's true, but we have 59 appearances in number 1, and these are, you can see the distribution. The heat map, I think, is clear. Now you can modify this, and you can say, show me the number of domains. Show me 20 domains. So you get more domains here. Okay. This chart is interactive. So if you want to start from here and just focus on these domains, you can select these. Double click, you go back. You don't go back. Okay. Or you can focus on these. Or you can say I'm interested in the top 4 positions only. Okay. So, and this is an HTML file that I want to share a copy with you. Where do I? So you know how it works, okay? So it's just a normal file that you can send and is interactive to share. Now, this is not very. We can also have a title, okay? So crypto SERP heat map if you want, and you have the title over here. Now, remember that we have many cryptocurrencies. We have 2 countries. We have 2 intents that don't have much to do with one another. Price of Bitcoin and what is Bitcoin. These are completely different things. So we can rerun this code with a subset. Okay. So crypto, where crypto GL, geolocation, is equal to UK. And here we can say UK. So this is my heat map for the UK. Copy paste UK is equal to US. And let me change this to US. So you can compare who's ranking in the UK, who's ranking in the US, and so on. Another thing you might want to do is not by country, but by search terms. So search term string contains what is. Okay, so this is across 2 countries, and this is, let me call it this way. Yeah, so this is what is coin. And so Wikipedia here is more dominant than the other one. You can run it again, and this contains price, let's say, and we can have price coin market cap. There's no Wikipedia here, for example. Okay, and again, you can focus on the ones that you want and see them. So this this requires a bit more looking into and analyzing. Yes, yours. Go ahead.
I have a question because this is awesome, but I'm
Thanks.
trying to make you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm trying to make an applicable case for myself. And currently, what I would really be interested in is, can you also do this based on number of queries, but on the horizontal axis, always display the URL. So let's say I would like to analyze from my own domain how many times, or I will say it from the beginning to the end, we are trying to optimize our multiple image SERP snippets. So we're trying to get the image carousels in the SERPs, and there's not really existing, or at least not that I'm aware of, software package that makes you unable to compare a situation now and maybe within 3 weeks. So I would like to know, or can we change this, what you just showed here, so that it reports if you have a SERP, a multiple SERP snippet, yes or no, and yeah.
Snippets, unfortunately, you mean the non-standard search results,
Well, the standard search results are sometimes enhanced with images. So sometimes it's 1 image, and sometimes it's 5.
Unfortunately, this is
to...
yeah. I see what you mean. Unfortunately, that's not available in this is the API. I'll take a look again if they've updated something here, but this is more of for strategic analysis than it is for tracking. So I'm getting into a new industry now, and I want to see who's ranking for crypto. And I want to see across the board. Now, the choice of keywords here is going to be different from business to business. You might have a very specific thing like, crypto options. Something very specific, or what is. But the snippets I'm not sure. I have to check, but I don't think they provide that, because I think this is a bit more dynamic and changes a lot. But
So basically everything that the Google API has in their requirements can be queried. So I can look up
yes,
myself if this is possible. Awesome.
Here's
I'll do it.
here are all the columns that you have.
So that's everything. Because I saw CS something image. I did saw some image thing somewhere.
CSE image. Yes, this one.
Yeah. So I was thinking, okay, if that's a list, then it's probably multiple.
This one. Oh, okay.
So if there is some result listing more than one image, then
okay. Yeah. So I didn't know that. See, some of these are missing, and some of these are there.
that's correct. Sometimes results don't have an image.
So
sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 5 or 8.
Let me see what we can do with that. Good question. I think okay, let me see number 6, for example. What do we have here? Okay. So
you cannot query show me only CS image with a list or with multiple items. Is that possible?
Because this is a string.
Or if it contains a comma.
Yeah, because
I'm just new into JSON. So I would have no idea how to do it myself yet, but I do know a little bit what's possible.
Let's see if that works. Okay, so now we have a bunch of lists, and we can maybe pd.json normalize this.
Awesome.
Okay, and we can say 0 source 0.get source. There we go. These are all the images that we have. So it's possible to do something with that, you know.
But you cannot see if these belong to one domain. So if one domain has multiple images.
Yes, yeah. Let me see here.
I don't know if the rest of the people here are interested in this functionality, but
so here's the length of each one of these. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1.
Okay.
This is 4, for example, and so on. Right? So this one has a length of more than 1, and so on. Most of them are just 1, as we saw, and some of them have more metadata about those images. You have the width, type, height, and so on.
Because basically what I was trying to figure out is, can we then make before optimization and after optimization?
Yeah, of course.
A heat map of how many times we have multiple images.
Sure.
So that you have
you run the same query multiple times, and you see your domain and whether it has these additional things or not. There's stuff for apps, for example. So I don't know, there's columns.string contains Android. Okay. Crypto. Is this how you want? Okay. Sorry for that. Okay, so here are the columns that contain Android. Okay, Android package, Android URL, just as an example of what things can be. But these are mostly empty, as you can see. But you can query whatever makes sense to you and see what goes on. But I just want to highlight something important, Ioris. This is, or just a distinction between the process of tracking what would we do and how, and the process of general analysis. Okay. So tracking is what you said, we run this every month and see what's going on. The analysis is, wait a minute, let's see what people are writing in the title tag. Okay, we have 1,440 titles. We can run the word frequency, for example, and see what words they use. Right? We can look at the meta descriptions and compare them. We can look at the title and compare them, the snippets, and see what Google displays. We can take the landing pages and crawl them and try to understand something strategic about these things and how they work and so on. And there's the other process of tracking. Every week, see what happened and see. Does that make sense?
Yes, definitely. And I'm mostly thinking in tracking. So that's for me an improvement point.
Sure,
but that's
sure.
just the
No,
way.
it's they're both very important, and I just wanted to highlight these two processes. So I have other examples, for example, just to give you some ideas. So I went to languages. These are the top languages in the world. I think top 20 languages. Here they are. And I created two variations, language course and learn language. So English course, Mandarin, Chinese course, Hindi course, and so on. Learn English, learn Mandarin, and so on. And I did the same thing for in 4 countries, US, UK, Canada, Australia, and I got these. And so you can see the different, this is everything. So Duolingo is dominant here, Apple, Udemy, and so on. And then you can do the same thing that we did. This is the top 15 domains, 160 SERPs. This is only for the US, Duolingo, Udemy, and you can see the differences in who's ranking and how. So SOAS here does not exist here, and so on. I mean, once you're in an industry and so on, and you're working with the people who know it, you'll get more meaningful analysis of these things. So there's an edu domains here. Duolingo is not very dominant in Australia, but it is a few times on 7 and 5, and so on. You can also get the meta tags and see what's being used. Here are the meta tags, a summary of the meta tags that they use: viewport, open graph, whatever you want to learn, online languages, course. University was interesting for me. Another example was insurance. So I got this list of insurance types from Money Supermarket, and I created 3 variations: cheap car insurance, cheap van insurance, and so on, best car insurance, best van insurance, and car insurance quotes. And we have this 29 times 3 queries across various countries. What I usually see, I don't know if you notice something in the UK. It is very, very condensed into 1 or 2 top players. No joking there. It's just these 2, 3, and that's it. In the US, you have a chance. Like, okay, there are top players, but you can see the heat map very hot over here. In the US, this is Australia, for example. I don't know if you notice such a thing, or if that makes sense. Or another one is dresses, for example. So the main idea here is I want a representative sample of a bunch of keywords, not just dresses for sale. No. I got a list of all the types of dresses, not all of them obviously, but a bunch, like 30, 40. Midi dress, off the shoulder, shift dress, bodycon, etc., and created 2 variations, the same thing, and got the heat maps. And I can share the raw data for these. So these are the dresses. These are the stop words. This is for insurance. Do I have the raw data? Yes. I can send you the links for these. And so there's a lot of text here to analyze and go through the snippets, the URLs, and then you can crawl those URLs and combine these two data sets together and see what you get. Cool. Any questions, any ideas, any thoughts?
I think that's great. The text analysis component is extremely powerful, especially when you pulled up the word frequency of looking at title. I assume that we can do that with the meta description as well.
Of course.
One of the I'd say most common questions that I get when I interact with clients is, they want to know, who are your leaders, who's the heat map does that, which is amazing. But then we always want to try to break down what are, these sites doing differently. Looking at word frequency is a great thing. And then, as you said, kind of crawling those URLs and extracting more data out from that. What you've just shown in like 15 minutes is really powerful. So
Great.
I'm super excited. So
wonderful.
But yes, everything that I've seen is very applicable to at least my day-to-day. And even what the gentleman had spoke about earlier about diving into SERP features and understanding where his images are before and after optimization. SERP feature ownership is something that we see is a very hot topic over the last 2 years, really, mainly because the influx of SERP features is slowly, actually I don't even think I should say slowly, is rapidly depleting what we see in organic results. So
yeah, because it's
being
like
able
it's
to,
like this.
It really is.
Where's my search result?
Exactly. We look at pixel depth a lot to determine kind of like the difference between where SERP features start versus organic. But being able to kind of extract information from the JSON to see if your domain or a client domain is in that image pack. There are definitely SERP features that don't contain a URL, like and more of a merchant ID, which Popular Products comes to mind for that. It'd be interesting if the API kicks back that information, because
in some cases, yes, that's great, because as you see here, there's like 600 columns.
There's a ton,
yeah, but many of them, it's frustrating. Like you see 600, like I'm gonna dive deep. Most of
absolutely them yes. Oh yes. Because what we do is we fetch SERP, so we analyze the data, what we see. Obviously the API makes that much easier for what it sees. But yeah, that's everything that looks like that. I have ideas when it comes to updating schemas and whatnot, just to make parameters that we would capture more searchable data much more usable, and be able to extract just high level, really any kind of data point from it. So it's really good stuff. That's my take, at least.
Thank you very much. So a few points here. So the word frequency function, you can give it n-grams of 2 or 3 so what is not surprising here, because obviously we're looking for that, but you can do it with the snippet, for example. Float object. Okay, so we have some missing values, so fill an A with the empty string. Okay, is A with a trading volume 20. And again, this is wrong, because this is combining all the search queries. So I should have done maybe crypto, where search terms string contains what is, and now we have a better idea, and we can do it again for price, trading volume, 24-hour trading, price today is, and so on. Okay. And one important weakness in this approach, just to keep in mind, is that it assumes that all these are equally important. So I ranked 70% of the time here. Oh, great. Not necessarily. We all know that keywords are not normally distributed. There's like an aggressive. So if you give me Bitcoin and Ethereum to rank for, you can take everything else and play with it. So just keep this in mind. Yeah. There was one where you have prices. Let me show you. So this is more, yeah. So this is more when you have an industry that you know and you track on a continuous basis, so you can develop stuff that's stable. So I've done this for travel industry. That's not the article. That's the article. Yeah. So this is for travel. So I got the top 100 destinations advertising break from Wikipedia. And here are some of them: Hong Kong, Thailand. These are the cities and the countries. And created two variations: flights to city and tickets to city. So we have 100 cities times two variations times two countries. That's 400 queries with 4,000 SERPs results. Okay. And you can get the same heat maps, summaries, and so on. This was the old version. And in addition to that, you can do something like, let me show you. Yeah, so you can look at the titles, and in some cases you see prices. So you can easily extract those prices and show them here. It's a simple regular expression. Not everyone has a price, but it makes a lot of sense, especially with stuff that's dynamic, like flights, that's always changing. And
how fresh is this API data?
good question. It's not good for tracking, I think. It's not every day. Like there's a bit of a lag. So it's more suitable for analysis stuff. But let me check again. I don't know really. So here, flights to Hong Kong, these are the prices that are available. You can immediately compare them and see a price comparison engine if you want, or do it once a month or once a week. But of course, not everyone has a price, but it's there. One other thing you can do is plot all the prices. So Expedia is mostly here. Skyscanner is mostly here. You can see the distribution of prices. So in the UK is a bit more clear. There's this Opodo is very, very low price, very aggressive over here. You can see cheap flights here. TripAdvisor is mostly here, but it has a lot more variety in terms of prices and so on. Like once you know your domains and your industry, you can do stuff that's a bit more stable than the generic stuff that I showed. That makes sense?
Was that your article on SEMrush, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see that one. Awesome.
Right.
I'll put that on my
reading
read
list
as well.
Cool. Stop recording.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I always have questions.
Please do.
Can you also query the image search results? Yeah, I'm
Yes.
image oriented
Week.
So, but is it only the normal SERP? I have no idea, because every time when I bumped into, you can connect to an API, then I needed to, okay, I don't know how this works, so then I dropped off. But now I can start not being scared of APIs. But just to, is there also an image API of Google that image SERP API?
Yeah, let me show you. So here you have a parameter called, where did that go? Search type. Okay. The default is web, but you can give it image. So what are you interested in?
Image.
Of what?
Well, of pink dresses, for example. Just
pink dresses. Okay. Search type, so search once web and once image. Okay. So pink dresses. Let's see what we get. Pink trusses, image, and we'll do it again with web, where if you don't specify it, it's okay. So here are the images, the image links. Let me see what Google gives us. So these are image URLs. Okay.
Yeah, you're mainly interested in your own position. I'm always thinking in the tracking spectrum. Sorry,
No.
Yeah, that's basically how my brain works. So
Cool.
I do it again. I'm just looking for can I use this to track my image search results?
Yeah.
My rankings, because the nice thing is in Google Images you get a SERP results page with hundreds of positions. So it should be really easy with this with this Python strategy to track a few hundred keywords and then also make the heat map of these are our top queries, and these are all the positions that we have.
I'm showing you that these are two types of results. So this is one from the web, which is a web page. Okay, and this is an image URL from the other one. Is that what you were looking for? So this searches Google Images basically. When you say search type equals image, because the link here, this is the same column, but the link here links to an image URL.
Yeah, so I would like to see, can you show the dominance of the domains that rank on this query for the first 100?
Yeah. But we have to have a multiple first 100 results.
Yes, because it's a long list of results in Google Images. It's really scrollable with all kinds of, I don't know. You can easily scrape 100.
Let me show you how that works. So, okay. Let's say 100. Well, let's say 50 so we don't. So the query is this, and the search type is image. Now, start is by default 1. Start with position 1. So I wanted to start with 1, 11, 21, 31, and 41. Okay, so run the same query 5 times, 1 starting at 1, starting at 11, starting at 21, and so on. So let's see if that works. 1, 2, 3. See here, start 1, start 2, start 3, start 4. Pink dress is 50. We have all these results. We have 50 results. So you can see display link. This is the domain or the actual URL. Now, what you want to do probably is pink URL data frame is URL to data frame. Convert these URLs into a data frame. Yeah, okay, we know. URL df. So these are the ranking images, the URLs of these ranking images split into components. So what you want to do probably is take the domain and count them.
Yes. Yeah, or the heat map that you showed was amazing with all the domains and their position dominance on this query. That was what I'm.
Or we can just do SERP.
Yeah, because you can rank 10 times on the Google image search results page. There you go.
Here we go. But this is 50. So it's not clear because there's so much data here. So we can say change the height to 900 pixels, maybe clearer this way, or 1200. Yeah. Okay. And you can see which domains ranked how many times. So eBay image 4, Pretty Little Thing 4 times, Nordstrom Media, and so on. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Right. So yeah, you can, I mean, this takes the product of any parameters you want. So all these things, like if you put 5 start points, 7 queries, 3 countries, it will run 7 times 3 times 5 requests to Google. Okay. And if you're into images, there's a lot of stuff about images. So you can say image size, large, small, extra large, image type, SVG, whatever, image color type. There's a bunch of things that you can look at over here.
Yeah, possibilities seem endless. Well, I'm already thinking about, okay, so this means that I can track how many or which image types are ranking for my client versus what is the rest using. What image resolution is everyone using, and what is my client using?
Absolutely, absolutely. You can crawl these images and download them and see what's so let me see if we can pink 50 and we have the link, right? So we have 50 URLs here. One function is crawl headers. You know the crawl function, but this is a crawl headers function, which only makes a head request and gets a response headers and let me show you what happens here. So crawlies, what do we call them? Pink addresses.jl. So this is gonna run a head request only. It's not gonna download the image. Let's see what we got here, because sometimes, whoops, pink images, read JSON, this lines equals true. Future pointing to date time. Okay, pink images. So status codes, you have them. One interesting thing here is if you have response headers, content length. Okay, that's very interesting for images because the server is telling me that this image is that many bytes, which is great information for me to know. Okay, now I can download all these images, but some database admin or whoever is there is going to come back to me with a gun, like, you're killing our servers, because images are very heavy. And if you have like 100,000 images and you're downloading them so fast, you know, it's gonna, but we don't need the images itself, right? I just want the sizes. Okay, so we can easily make a histogram of those. Pink images x equals this. So this is the distribution of the image size on these URLs. So there's one image that's like between 5 and 5.5 megabytes, 2 megabytes, and so on. The majority are between 0 and half a megabyte. Okay, we can make this higher resolution, 50 bins, and you can see the distribution here. So between most of them are less than 200 kilobytes of size. So you can analyze this as well. Okay, we can do the same thing with pink images status code and count those. So everything is 200, fine, but there's one of them that's 400. Okay. Oops. Server, header time, response, whatever. You know, you get all the response headers, and you can see if they're redirects. Three. Yeah, so these are the ones that have been redirected. And this is the type of redirect that you have and the number of redirects. So one redirect each. and you get the start URL. This is a regular expression to show you the redirect as well as the URL it was redirected to. So this one is the request URL, but it was redirected here. This was requested, this was crawled, and so on. Okay, so you can also see that if you're interested in it. Did you say something, Joris? Okay. Yeah, so if you're interested in images, that's doable. And yeah.
Yeah, the most difficult thing is to understand what's possible here, because what you can, yeah. So you entered URLs, starts with URL and ends, or redirect. So yeah, I have no idea what that means. And basically the challenge here is getting to understand the possibilities.
Yeah, it's a bit endless once you know how to handle these things, especially with combinations of other types of data. You know, if you have metadata about the URL from another tool like Ahrefs, you can bind these together and say, okay, this is ranking very high, but not doing well here, or it's ranking well, but it's very heavy image. How come? Whatever, you know, you can run all these types of analyses.
That's great. Question again. How many people are already using advertools? Can you see this? How big is this? And are they sharing information? I have no idea. This world is really new to me, so
it's
I have no idea.
The number of downloads is reported through the PyPI, but it's not very accurate. I use the one that's available, knowing that it's not as accurate as it could be, but you know, so there's in total it's getting close to 2 million downloads, installs total, not people, installs. I wish people.
So every time I open a Jupyter notebook and I ask import advertools, then it's a download.
No, if you pip install advertools. Now the problem with this number is that, so I use it every day, but I don't install it every day. But there are some services online like Google Colab where you have to install it every time you use it.
Yeah.
So the number of installs doesn't tell you exactly what's going on. The majority of installs are coming from Amazon servers, because the majority of the operating systems are Amazon Linux. So there are many people using it on these, but you know, you could install it today and use it for 6 months and maybe use it every day for hours, and it wouldn't make a difference. But that's the same number that's reported for every other package. So I'm using that. There's a good growth. So, you know, these days it's like between 3,000 and 10,000 installs every day is happening.
And maybe, yeah, this is also a newbie question, but let's say that I miss something, or that I see, okay, maybe we can add X to this whole advertools. It's not a source, but it's how is it called again?
Open source.
A library, right?
Yeah.
How does this work? Can stuff be added?
You send an email.
Who makes all these functionalities
for advertools?
Yeah. You do it all yourself.
Yeah, so if you
I just need to ask you if you can add something then.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you have any suggestions, or if you see any bugs or something like that, you can, and please do, because I'd love to know what people are using it for. If there are things that you don't like, or things that are issues, of course, yeah, that would be great.
So is it also the case, for example, Beautiful Soup or Panda? Is that
Sure,
also just another alias, just managing all that stuff, how that works, owning it and
there's
doing
10
it
people.
for everyone?
Yeah. Sometimes there's 10 people, sometimes there's 20 people, sometimes depending on the project. Like bigger projects have like, but it's always a very small number. It's a tiny number compared to the users. So Pandas has like 7 or 8 core developers, but that's like installed like millions of times every day. So it's still, effectively like one person managing it. Like if you look at the ratio.
Let's just keep it simple for me. If I want to join the advertools community or be a little bit closer to the source and all the things that you guys are doing in this environment, where do I need to go?
So
where do
first,
I need to be present?
first you install it and you use it. Right, that's the best that's the best contribution. You can write about it, you can explain it, you can share it, you can contribute to the documentation if you don't know code. So you can read the documentation, say, I don't like the way this is explained, and I have a better way of writing it. You can contribute that. You can, if ultimately you can contribute code. So if you don't like the way the crawler is working and you have a better way of doing it or a faster way, you can write the code and upload it to GitHub. GitHub is where all these things are happening.
Okay.
So yeah,
Clear.
You're more than welcome.
Awesome. I have no questions.
Cool.